In a strange place, Durgal trained her so harshly that he was on the verge of death. He was training under the leadership of the strongest squad in the villages, and they were these 4 very strong people. The hero Castaigne trained for a year to increase his strength after he was very weak, and the dead squad that trained him was taught that it had become stronger than him and would destroy the battlefield with his new skills, but he sees the exact opposite and thinks himself increasingly weak because he could not endure his harsh training. You're transported to the events of this city, which Jamil visits to achieve their dreams, especially the adventurers whose bodies are their tools in this profession. Every year, a large number of adventurers come to register in the Negev stationed in this city, and they are offered the reception job. Remember to enter for the Negev test, and among them is the hero of the Narek installment, the receptionist Alice. I knew him directly as he worked with me in the same company 2 years ago. To achieve his dream and become an adventurer, but he is somewhat ashamed of himself. He has reached the age of 30 and had to start as an adventurer at a young age. Usually people start as an F-rank student in their teens and then become a novice E-rank adventurer within 2 years of that, so he sees himself as a disgrace to you. Adventurers Guild Alice asks him, what has he been doing for the past 2 years? He says to her, I didn't do anything. I was just retreating in the mountains, training with some of the top adventurers. At that time, this man takes the price of a word and wants to get closer to Alyssa. He runs away from him. She tells him that she is working and doesn't have time for him, so he gets attracted to her and she starts harassing her. This man was invited because he drank a lot, not his girlfriend, and she gave him a test ticket to join the Adventurers Guild. Here, poor Malik claims that he is adventurer number 4242, which means that there is an endless queue of adventurers in front of him until it is her turn to pass the test. So Rick went out and was frustrated after he finished registering for the guild, and Rebecca Huron was waiting for him outside, while inside, the adventurers are oppressed by what Rick did to this drunk man. Because of his tremendous strength, his fist was imprinted in the Voldi shield, and if the Negev guards came to arrest this man, he is a former A-rank adventurer. They did not ask for an attack. This man is the demonic penny, Domel, for example. I just realized that Rick has become so strong that he defeated an A-rank adventurer with ease. Then Rick went in to do the examinations to officially register in the guild, and he was ashamed of himself because he was a beginner as an adventurer at the age of 30. Forget he took his stomach to measure the amount of his magic power, but when he put his hand on the magic crystal, he shocked us that he was very weak, and his magic power was non-existent, so the adventurers began to bully him and describe him as an old loser, but they did not see anything by a weak adventurer like him in the magic power of magic lore because of his enormous strength, and because he will take a test in which they measure the strength of the blow. This holographic bag has the ability to absorb strong attacks. Rick drank from this holographic bag, so he did not train with the strength of the squad to make this huge person train to destroy the golden holographic bag. At that time, Rick was shocked by the harshness of the training. He could destroy something with the power of dragon teeth with his bare hands, but the huge man who trained him at that time, he did his code as if it were nothing. He could destroy 200 of them with one push. Rick then developed this difficult training, and he first started with 50 punches a day, which was hell for him. At the present time, he will draw his strength on the green bag, which is much weaker than the gold one, which means that the test will be. It was easy for him, and before him, many adventurers passed this test naturally, but this child, who was conceited with his strength, attracted all attention towards him. He is the second son of the Duke, and he is only 11 years old. But his arrogance was not useless, as he actually possesses terrifying power, shocking everyone, even the hero Rick, as he uses the combined magic of nature from the 3rd level, but his strength was very ordinary, unlike where Rick was afraid, but the novice adventurers were amazed by his strength and saw him as a genius of his time, among an overpowered Merrick. How could this charmer call weak magic the compound nature magic of the 3rd level with these powerful magicians? He then saw the nature magicians who accumulated the 3rd level, and then their crazy power. It burned down an entire mountain, and Ray was afraid, thinking it was the end of the world. That's why he's now wondering how someone could call this girl a genius once she received a very small coronavirus. It's Rick's turn to try his hand at the hologram bag, but the teacher is belittling him because he started as an adventurer at the age of 30 and believes that he is weak and will fail the test, so he advises him to give up. Rick got angry at his guest and remembers the harsh training he went through to become an adventurer. He continued punching the golden hologram bag until his veins exploded. With his crazy strength, he punched the bag of green holograms with his strength and it turned into pieces. The teacher was shocked, and that genius boy Frick not only destroyed the obstacle, but also created a huge hole in the wall due to its terrible power. The genius boy lost hope because Rick took all the lights away from him. Frick shocked everyone as well in testing defensive magic. This is magic. The strong one failed to injure him, even though Rick defended himself with natural composite magic from the first level. So the magic decided to increase his strength even more, and he would imbue him with natural compound magic from the 5th level for his strength. This made the magic get even more angry, and he used a very advanced compensation. Even the strongest adventurers failed to withstand it, as he was attacked by it. The shock became strong and spread throughout the place, and from its strength, a first-class knight felt it, so he quickly ran to see what was happening there, and found that the magic had lost all its power after Rick repelled his terrifying attack. Even the first-class knight, Sylvester, was shocked by what Rick had done, and was even more surprised when he learned that he was over 30 years old. In his statements, he defeated Nina alone. He is sure that he got an excellent grade, but Keitha rejects him because he is over 30 years old at that time. The genius boy Farid comes to him and he is angry with him after he snatched all the spotlight from him, and Rick belittled him and said to him, "Poor thing, I think you haven't changed your diapers yet." Then Farid began crying and blaming him for telling me that he did not let him waste his genius in the test. He developed trick with this child. His eldest sister came to avenge him, Phil, the eldest son, only to find that Fred complained and told her that this 40-year-old old man was bullying him. So Rick started screaming that he was still in his 30s. It was clear that his stomach, he has psychological problems from his old age. And even Angelica calls him an Arab man and throws her jump at him and challenges him in a duel with stupid Rick. She jumped from the ground so that he would not get dirty, and he did not know that his doing that means that he met her duel. Fred tells him that she met him because he jumped, that he agreed to the duel, and she saw herself as stupid so-and-so. Forced to confront a knight from the 2nd rank of the Knights of the Kingdom, Angelica tells that each participant can propose one condition for a duel. This is how duels are conducted in the Kingdom of Wilhelm, and the condition that Angelica proposes is that the loser must be one of the things that has been proven to be the winner's opponent until death. Reki Serenit tells him that she has thrown him away. As a 2nd-year knight, Merrick is rejected because he is much weaker than her. He is still a novice adventurer who has not yet crossed the ranks, and Asba is afraid that the swordsman will not leave alive. So Rint tells her, in this case, remember your training during the past 2 years, so he became Rake. Remember the hell he went through to become an adventurer, and Rind is motivated. She tells him to be more confident, as you trained with Hayes before Toricalcum, who prides himself on being the strongest in the villages. Then Lek remembered who he was, and she passed by God, so his morale rose, and he led Angelica and belittled me because he was just an F-rank adventurer, and she told him that she forbade me from killing you because you were a novice adventurer, and she moved quickly, dividing into 2 lineages, and she told him, I did not want to cut you from the beginning, I just wanted to try my normal speed on you. And his brother, Farid, he says that she is attacking Angelica Alwamith due to her extraordinary speeds, but Narek saw her running with a fat gun. In his opinion, she is very slow, and he says that she is much slower than me when I run normally. How can he call her Alwamith with such speed and dodge her attacks so easily? And he thinks that he moved only by luck, so few top-class horses can react in this way. It is true with her speed, so she increased her speed even more to ensure his defeat. So Maliko managed to avoid her attack with difficulty, and the idiot believes that she did it intentionally, and that was his secret skill, so he did not notice that she stumbled by accident, and the fool believes that she is much stronger than him. Even Angelica pretends that she did not stumble, but rather did it on purpose and decided to increase her speed 3 times to finish the fight. But is it still slow for you? He is afraid that she will fool him with his secret skill, while Angelica has lost a majority and she only has 2 attempts left until she loses all her points. But Narek easily overtakes her, so she has only 1 last chance left, and Narek finally decides to attack, but Angelica stumbles again and becomes She stuck her sword towards his legs, and Narek hit the ground with his terrifying punch until Angelica flew into the sky, and from the strength of Narek's hero, the ground collapsed around him as if a meteorite had fallen from the sky, and Angelica was thankful for her luck because if she had not stumbled, she would have met directly with you. She became trembling in fear of him and asked him who he was, so he told her that 2 years ago, I changed him from being a receptionist in the Niqab to an adventurer. I am just an ordinary F-rank adventurer, but Angelica does not believe him because his strength is terrifying. Stupid Rick has not yet understood that she is much weaker than her, and he still wants to guide her, so she quickly surrenders, before he hit her with his implicit punch, so that she would not lose her little brother's respect. But Rick did not forget that the winner had a necessary condition on the loser. So Angelique Minky ran away if his condition was carried out, and Rick was upset and did not understand her childish behavior. At that time, Rent told him that it was time for the results of the preliminary test, and then she told him that the band would arrive. The one you are training with will come here soon, and they are coming to check on Rick's condition while he is afraid of them and does not want to meet them, and he feels a feeling that they will come to the city. Whoa, here we reach the end of the first episode of this beautiful pain. The fight has reached more than 7,000 likes, so that the second part will be uploaded to you as soon as possible, and please subscribe to the channel in appreciation of my efforts.